Hi, wonderful listeners. This is Sandy again with another Power Pop. We've all just come through a very busy season. The holiday season and getting ready for the new year takes lots of energy and activities and thought and all kinds of things. It's easy to lose sight of something that is incredibly important while you're focusing on all those other things. And that important thing is you. Between work responsibilities, family obligations, social commitments, all kinds of other things that you have to do or think you have to do that demand your time and attention, often we put our own needs at the bottom of the list. The problem is if that happens for too long or too often, we can cause a lot of problems for ourselves, both physical, mental, and emotional. I have a dear friend who is a very responsible, reliable person, very clever, always working to do things for other people, always taking care of everybody else, does a fabulous job at his workplace. He is always on top of taking care of everything and everybody. He rarely stops and looks at what his needs are. I have talked to him about this. He says he gets joy out of taking care of other people and doing other things. But I have noticed that recently he seems to be more stressed and his health is not as good as it was. I think he's probably doing some burnout. He's getting grumpy. His relationships are suffering. Things are just not working for him. The more things are uncomfortable for him, the more he steps up and tries to do what he's always done, which is be an excellent employee and an excellent friend and an excellent partner. I really wish that he would take the time to assess where he is and slow down and look at what's happening. If he chooses to do that, he can start by looking at his schedule and seeing, does he have any space in there for himself? How often does he say yes when he really wants to say no? Is he overcommitted? And ask himself, when was the last time I did something just for me? If he can't find something like that in his past month, then that's a red flag. If any of this sounds like you, first of all, I appreciate you greatly for all the giving and for being a reliable, responsible person in all areas of your life. But I also encourage you to stop and schedule some me time and make sure you protect it. Treat your self-care like it's as important as all the other things you do, because it really is. Whether you take a daily walk, go to a yoga class, take a nap, spend time reading, whatever is me time for you, please be sure to do that. And also, I hope that you will set boundaries. Start learning to say no or rearrange things so that if you have a whole lot that you think you have to do, look around and see who you can delegate some of that to. I would bet that a lot of times it's not really up to only you, that there are other people who can step up and fill in if you would allow them to do that. Also, it's kind of fun to make a joy list. Write down activities and experiences and people that bring you joy, and then be sure to incorporate at least one of those into your life a couple times a week at least. And be sure to check in with yourself to make sure that you're not exhausting yourself, that you're not so stressed and so overworked or so overburdened that you are causing yourself physical or emotional damage. For some people, when you actually put yourself on your priority list, you might feel guilty. And it's important for you to look at that guilt, as we've often talked about on our podcast, because it's a red flag that lets you know that you're violating a value. So you put the flag down and you look at that value and see, what is it? Is the value be responsible and reliable? Or is the value that there's something wrong with you if you take care of yourself and that's self-indulgent? Make sure that you can be gentle with yourself. We say that a lot, Shannon and I do on our podcast, because being gentle with yourself, making sure you prioritize yourself right along with everybody and everything else will make a huge difference in your life. I really wish my friend would learn that value, because I'm afraid that he's going to be suffering unfortunate consequences if he can't stop and put himself on his priority list. You'll also find, if you choose to include yourself there, that your relationships will improve because you're less stressed. You'll be more present, more productive, actually enjoy your life a lot more. You'll be mentally and physically healthy. Everything will improve once you are treating yourself as valuable as you treat everybody and everything else. please take a deep breath and ask yourself, am I on my priority list? If the answer is not yes, then take time to make some changes. You are incredibly important and valuable. The people in your life will appreciate you taking care of you. Thank you again for being with us on this fun podcast adventure. And we will be back in the next few weeks with some full episodes and more Power Pops.